Right now, before the next thought rushes you forward, let's slow down in a way your body can recognize. Not the dramatic kind of calm, not the forced kind, just a small, honest easing. You are here, you are present. And in this moment, you are safe enough to soften. Maybe your mind has been sprinting ahead, trying to solve tomorrow before it arrives. Maybe your chest has been holding itself like a fist. Maybe you've been carrying an invisible list of just-in-case worries, and you're tired of living on alert. So let these words meet you like warm water, not to erase your real life, not to pretend nothing is hard, only to offer your inner system a gentle signal. Right now, you can come home. If it feels okay, notice one small place you can unclench by even 1%. The jaw that's been gripping, the shoulders that have been lifting toward your ears, the hands that have been bracing as if they're holding up the day. And as you listen, let the exhale be a little slower than the inhale, like you're setting something down without slamming it. No perfect rhythm, just a soft, quiet easing. Sometimes the reason you can't relax is not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because a protective part of you learned that staying alert was the way to stay okay. It learned to scan, to predict, to prepare, to replay. It learned to be on duty. So when you feel tight, wired, restless, or guarded, you don't have to shame yourself for it. You can simply recognize it. Something in you is trying to protect you. And even that part deserves kindness. There is a way to speak to yourself that doesn't escalate the alarm. There is a way to hold yourself that doesn't demand certainty. There is a way to practice safety in the present moment, one gentle sentence at a time. Let's begin in the spirit of Louise Hay's gentle affirmations with the simplest sentence, and let it be new each time you say it. I am safe in this moment, not forever, not in every possible situation, not as a promise about the entire future. In this moment, I am safe in this moment. If your mind argues, that's okay. If it says, but what about, that's okay too. We are not fighting the mind. We're guiding it back to what is real right now. Safety begins when you stop arguing with the moment and start meeting it. You don't have to like everything about this moment to meet it. You don't have to approve of the past to be present now. You simply have to arrive. So arrive, my dear, in the smallest way. Feel the contact between you and whatever is supporting you. A chair, a bed, the floor beneath your feet. A quiet sense of gravity saying, I have you. Here is a gentle trade you can make, just for now. Instead of, I need to figure everything out, try. I only need to be here for the next breath. Instead of, I have to fix myself, try. I can care for myself. Instead of, I can't handle this, try. I can meet one moment at a time. And if you want a second sentence that carries less pressure, try this. All is well enough right now, not perfect, not finished, not painless, just well enough to take the next breath without bracing. There is a kind of relief that comes when you stop demanding the moment be flawless before you allow yourself to soften. Your body doesn't need a perfect day to loosen. It needs a safe signal. Here is a short vow, spoken quietly inside. I will not abandon myself while I wait for life to feel certain. Let that vow be a turning point, because so much of the ache comes from leaving yourself in the name of getting through. And you don't have to do that anymore. You can stay. Staying doesn't mean you approve of everything. It means you stop making yourself the enemy while you're already tired. It means you choose to be on your own side. And sometimes being on your own side looks very small. It looks like softening your mouth. It looks like letting your shoulders drop. It looks like saying, "Sweet one, you don't have to prove anything right now." When you've lived with pressure for a long time, even gentleness can feel unfamiliar. Your system might mistrust it at first. That's okay. We are not forcing trust. We are offering steadiness. Now let's give your mind something simple to hold on to. Something true, not dramatic. Your mind can tell stories. Your senses tell the truth. So name what is true right now in plain language. There is air in this room. There is a surface holding me. There are sounds near and far, coming and going. There is some part of me that is listening. You are not trying to convince yourself of a fantasy. You are orienting to the present. You are reminding your body, we are here. And then offer this small sentence. Right now, I have enough to meet this moment. Enough for now. Not enough to solve your entire life in one sitting. Enough to be here without collapsing into fear. Notice how different that feels from the mind's usual demand. Enough certainty, enough control, enough reassurance. This is smaller, kinder, more possible. It can help to remember that your mind often asks for a guarantee before it relaxes. It wants a signed contract from the future. But peace rarely arrives through guarantees. Peace often arrives through presence, through gentleness, through choosing one true thing instead of 10 imagined emergencies. So here is a gentle question to hold, like a lantern rather than a test. What would change if you didn't demand complete certainty before allowing a little peace? Even a little. Even 10 seconds of unclenching. Even one breath that isn't a rehearsal for disaster. You can give yourself permission to feel a small pocket of peace without earning it. Peace can be a rest stop, not a final destination. You can step into it briefly and step out again, and that is still meaningful. Now we come to the heart of this practice, the voice you use with yourself. The voice inside you is either a shelter or a storm, and you are allowed to build a shelter. When you speak to yourself with sharpness, your body hears danger. When you speak to yourself with tenderness, your body hears safety. It doesn't mean life becomes instantly easy. It means you are no longer attacking yourself while you're trying to cope. So speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you adore late at night. Slow, simple, kind. My love, I am with you. My love, we can take this one moment at a time. My love, you do not have to brace for everything at once. And here are 2 lines you can let land exactly as they are. In this moment, I release the need to brace. In this moment, I allow support to reach me. Say them again in your own rhythm without pushing. In this moment, I release the need to brace. In this moment, I allow support to reach me. Sometimes your body has been bracing for so long, it thinks bracing is love. It thinks tension equals preparedness. It thinks softening equals risk. So we soften gently. We don't rip the armor off. We loosen one strap. You don't have to trust everything to be gentle with yourself. You don't have to declare the world safe in order to feel a little safer inside your own skin. You can be guarded and cared for at the same time. That's a mature kind of safety. Not denial, not pretending, just steady inner companionship. And inner companionship sounds like this: I am safe in this moment, and I am staying with myself. If shame shows up, if you hear the voice that says you're too sensitive, too slow, too much, not enough, let's meet that voice with truth. Nothing in you needs to be shamed into calm. Nothing in you needs to be bullied into peace. The nervous system is not impressed by harshness. It tightens under threat. It loosens under kindness. So when that harsh voice speaks, you can respond softly. Thank you for trying to push me, but I'm choosing care. Care is not laziness. Care is not weakness. Care is intelligence. Care is how you keep going without breaking yourself. Sometimes the most calming thing you can do is stop making yourself wrong for having feelings. Feelings are not failures. They're signals. They rise, they move, they change. You are the one who stays. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to stay, let's make it smaller. Staying can look like returning to one sentence. Staying can look like noticing one simple thing you can touch or see. Staying can look like letting your breath find its own pace and deciding not to fight it. Here is a metaphor that can help your mind unclench. Your thoughts are like a snow globe that's been shaken. Everything is swirling, flakes of worry, sparkles of memory, little storms of what if. The more you shake it, the more it swirls. The way it clears is not through force. It clears when you set it down. Setting it down can be as simple as this: I am safe in this moment. Or it can be as simple as looking at one ordinary object and letting it be ordinary: a cup, a door frame, a corner of the room. Let the ordinary remind you that you are here, not in the imagined future. Small anchors beat big promises. You don't need a grand plan to calm down. You need a tiny anchor you can return to again and again, kindly. Choose one anchor that feels neutral or comforting: the feeling of your feet, the touch of fabric on your skin, the sight of a simple object, the sound of a steady hum, or the phrase, I am here. Just one. not forever, just for now. And when the mind pulls away, you return without scolding yourself. You return like someone coming back to a porch light, again and again. One breath at a time, I come back to myself. Now let's talk about the moments when the alarm rises fast. Those sudden spikes of tension, those waves of dread, those times your thoughts feel like they're stacking on top of each other. In those moments, it can help to stop negotiating with every thought, because anxious thoughts can be persuasive. They can sound urgent, they can sound logical, they can sound like they deserve a meeting. But you don't have to hold a meeting with every thought. You can notice, my mind is trying to protect me, and then return to your anchor. You can also try a tiny practice of naming the present in 3 simple parts. What is one thing you can notice in front of you? What is one thing you can feel physically? Temperature, texture, pressure. What is one thing you can hear, near or far? You are not doing this to be perfect. You are doing it to come back. You are doing it to remind your system, we are here. And if you can, let your exhale take a little longer than your inhale again. Not as a rule, as a signal, as a soft suggestion to your body, we can slow down. Sometimes safety is also built through boundaries, even tiny ones. A boundary can be as simple as not answering right away. A boundary can be as simple as stepping away from a conversation that is turning sharp. A boundary can be as simple as turning down the volume on a device, on a room, on your own inner expectations. You do not have to keep yourself available to everything. You do not have to be reachable by everyone at all times. You do not have to respond to pressure with immediate obedience. This is another truth line to remember. I can protect my peace without explaining it perfectly. And here is the practical inner shift. Instead of asking, what do they want from me? Ask, what do I need right now to feel steady? Sometimes what you need is water. Sometimes it's food. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's a moment of quiet. Sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's simply letting yourself feel what you feel without turning it into a verdict about your future. And if you're in a situation you can't change, if you're in a noisy space, a busy home, a stressful season, you can still offer yourself an inner boundary. You can decide, I will not add self-criticism to this. You can decide, I will be gentle with my body today. You can decide, I will handle one thing at a time. This is not wishful thinking. It is self-leadership. It is you choosing how to live inside your own mind. And if you notice a part of you resisting the idea of support, be tender with that too. Some hearts learned early that support was unreliable, conditional, or complicated. So receiving can feel like danger, even when nothing bad is happening. But you don't have to leap into trust. You can practice allowing one small, kind thing to reach you. Support can be ordinary. It can be the way a blanket has weight. It can be the steadiness of a wall behind your back. It can be the fact that the earth keeps holding you without asking you to earn it. It can be a message you haven't sent yet, a friend you haven't leaned on yet, a quiet reminder that you don't have to carry everything alone. If the phrase "I am supported" feels too big, try something gentler. Support is available in small pieces. That is enough. And when your mind says, "But I should be able to handle this," remember, needing support is not a moral failure. It is part of being human. Even the strongest people need somewhere to set things down. Sometimes, the most powerful form of safety is allowing yourself to slow your pace. Not because you're giving up, but because rushing has been costing you. So let this truth line land softly. My pace is allowed. You can move slowly and still arrive. You can take breaks and still be devoted. You can rest and still be worthy. There's another place we can find safety, in forgiveness. Not the kind of forgiveness that excuses harm, and not the kind that bypasses your feelings. The simple forgiveness that says, "I did the best I could with what I knew then." The forgiveness that releases the constant replay. The forgiveness that stops punishing you for being a person. If you've been carrying regret, let it be held gently for a moment. Regret often means you care. It often means you're learning. You don't have to turn it into a life sentence. You can let it teach you and then let it soften. You can say quietly, "I am learning," and allow that to be true. Learning is a kind of safety because it means you are growing, not stuck. And if your mind keeps returning to old scenes, old conversations, old mistakes, you can offer it a kind redirect. "Thank you, mind. I understand you want to protect me from repeating pain. And right now, I am choosing to return to this moment. Return to the weight of your body. Return to the feeling of being held by a surface. Return to the simple fact that you are here and you are still breathing. That is not nothing. That is your life arriving again." If you're listening during a commute or between tasks or in the middle of a hard day, let this be a private sanctuary. You don't have to change your face. You don't have to explain yourself. You can quietly soften on the inside. You can quietly lower the volume of the inner alarm. You can quietly come back to what is true. This moment is the only place you can stand. And if your life right now includes heartbreak or burnout or uncertainty, let the phrase "in this moment" be especially gentle. It doesn't ask you to be over it. It doesn't ask you to be cheerful. It asks only that you stop abandoning yourself. It asks only that you offer yourself a little steadiness while you move through what is real. This is how you build an inner home, not by waiting for perfect conditions, but by bringing kindness into the conditions you have. Now, a small story, because sometimes the heart understands through another heart. There was a woman named Mira who looked composed to everyone else. She answered messages. She smiled at the right times. She kept moving, but inside her mind was always slightly ahead, scanning for the next mistake, the next disappointment, the next thing she might lose. One evening, nothing dramatic happened. No big crisis, no major event. Just a quiet moment when she realized she was exhausted from being on guard. Mira didn't know how to calm down in a big, dramatic way. So she tried something smaller. She sat with a cup of tea and told herself out loud, "I am safe in this moment." At first it felt awkward. Her mind argued back, listing reasons she shouldn't feel safe, but she didn't debate the list. She simply looked around the room and named what was true. There is a table, there is a cup, there is warmth in my hands, there is light on the wall. Then she said again, "I am safe in this moment." She didn't become a different person overnight. But something shifted. She stopped abandoning herself while she waited for the future to behave. She stayed. And that staying, quiet, steady, unremarkable, began to feel like safety. That's the point, my dear. Safety is not always fireworks. Often it is the gentle decision to remain with yourself. Let's anchor what you've done so far. You softened one small place. You named what is true right now. You chose words that feel like shelter. You practiced returning instead of spiraling. Now we go a little deeper, because "I am safe" can sound like it's asking for a promise the world can't make. So let's redefine it in a way that feels true. I am safe does not have to mean nothing will ever change. It does not have to mean nothing will ever hurt. It can mean I am not alone inside myself. It can mean I can meet this moment without leaving my body. It can mean I can choose my next step without panic. Here is the deeper affirmation. Whatever comes, I will stay with me. That sentence is not superstition. It is a commitment. It is you becoming someone you can trust. And trust is built through small actions, not grand declarations. You build trust when you listen to your limits. You build trust when you rest before you collapse. You build trust when you speak kindly to yourself, even when you're messy. You build trust when you stop treating your feelings like enemies. So here is a practical inner shift you can try. Instead of rehearsing every possible problem, return to your next kind action. Your next kind action might be very small. Drink water, stretch your fingers, unclench your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Close one tab. Take 2 minutes away from the screen. Choose a gentler tone in your own head. Notice how these are not punishments. They are care. They are tiny signals that tell your system, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm not leaving. Sometimes we think safety should feel like a big wave of relief, but often it feels like a series of small releases, a little less tension in the neck, a little more space in the breath, a slightly quieter mind, a softer gaze. And if you don't feel any of that yet, you are not failing. You are practicing. Practice counts. Even the willingness to practice counts. So if you need a sentence that meets you exactly where you are, try this one. I am willing to be kind to myself in this moment. Willingness is powerful because it doesn't demand certainty. It doesn't demand perfection. It opens a door. It says, I'm not ready to feel completely calm, but I'm ready to stop fighting myself. And that alone can reduce the inner friction. That alone can create space. If you notice your mind wandering, that's normal. The mind wanders. Your job is not to never wander. Your job is to return without cruelty. Return to your anchor. Return to what is true. Return to your breath without making it a chore. Return to the phrase that feels like a soft blanket. I am safe in this moment. There is something quietly profound about the phrase, in this moment. It does not ask you to solve everything. It does not ask you to rewrite your past. It does not ask you to predict the future. It is a small container. It is a gentle boundary. It is you choosing a manageable size of life to hold. And when you live inside the manageable size, you can handle more than you think, because you are not trying to carry the entire universe at once. Now let's talk about the places you feel unsafe that are not physical. The emotional places. The places where you feel misunderstood. The places where you feel judged. The places where you feel like you have to perform to be accepted. In those places, safety can mean giving yourself permission to be real, to be imperfect, to be in process. Sometimes you feel unsafe because you're trying to control how you are perceived. You're trying to say the right thing, do the right thing, be the right thing. That is exhausting. And the body feels that exhaustion as tension. So here is a practical shift. Instead of asking, how do I look? Ask, what do I feel? Not as a spiral, as a check-in, a gentle reality check. And then offer yourself a compassionate response. If you feel tired, acknowledge it. If you feel lonely, acknowledge it. If you feel angry, acknowledge it. If you feel uncertain, acknowledge it. Acknowledging is not indulging. Acknowledging is allowing the truth to exist without punishment. And the truth, when allowed, often settles. There is also a simple truth you can remember when you feel emotionally exposed. You do not have to be understood by everyone to be safe with yourself. You can be your own witness. You can be your own ally. You can be the one who says, I see you, I believe you, I'm here. That is safety. Another gentle question, asked with love, can this moment be simpler than your thoughts are making it? You don't have to answer perfectly. Just let the question soften your grip. Now, let's return to the chorus again as a home base. I am safe in this moment. All is well enough right now. Right now, I have enough to meet this moment. If you only take one sentence with you, take the first one. Because it is clean, it is present, it is kind. I am safe in this moment. And if you need a version that feels even more honest, you can add one word. I am safer in this moment. Safer does not have to be absolute. Safer is enough for the body to begin loosening. Sometimes you might notice that as you soften, emotions rise. a wave of sadness, a wave of anger, a wave of relief that feels like tears. That can happen when the guard relaxes. If that happens, be gentle. You are not doing anything wrong. You are simply allowing what has been held to move. You can say, "It's okay. I can feel this without being overwhelmed by it." You can return to your anchor. You can keep your attention on what is steady. You can let the feeling pass through like weather without turning it into a prophecy. Remember the snow globe. When you set it down, the particles still drift for a while. They don't stop instantly. They settle. They find their place. And you don't have to chase each flake. So you don't have to chase each thought. You can let them drift. You can come back to the present. You can let your shoulders drop again, even if they rise again later. This is how safety becomes believable, through repetition that is kind, not rigid, through returning without self-judgment, through making the practice gentle enough that you'll actually do it. Now, let's speak to the part of you that fears you'll slide backward. The part that says, "I was calm for a second, but it didn't last." Sweet one, it does not have to last forever to matter. A sip of water matters. A minute of rest matters. A brief return matters. These moments add up. Not as a guarantee, as a pattern, as a relationship you build with yourself. And if you want another vow, one that feels like a soft hand rather than a rule, here it is. I will return to myself with kindness again and again. That is all you have to do. Return kindly, often. If the calm fades later, that doesn't mean this was useless. It means you're human. Let the next spike be an invitation to return, not a verdict. Soften one muscle, name one true thing. Let one exhale be longer. Whisper your phrase again. This is how safety becomes familiar, through gentle returns, no shame, no hurry, nothing to prove. As we come toward the close, let's gather the essentials so your mind can relax its search for, what did I miss? You practiced softening instead of fighting. You practiced truth instead of catastrophe. You practiced kind words instead of inner criticism. You practiced returning, and you can do it again later, not as homework, as kindness. So as you step back into your day, or as you drift toward sleep, let these final words be simple and real. I am safe in this moment. I am safe enough to breathe. I am safe enough to be here. Whatever comes next, I will stay with me. May your body learn, little by little, that it does not have to brace all the time. May your mind learn that presence is a form of protection. May your heart feel the quiet relief of being met. And for this one moment, let it be true. You are here. You are held by your own presence. You are safe enough to soften,